Assessment for Learning has revolutionised the way that I teach. I used to be very didactic, very chalk and talk, and I think that's how I was trained to teach. But since then, my teaching has changed. I take a step back and the students take much more responsibility for their own learning, and it does mean that it's a much more interactive environment within the classroom. Next, you'll find that on your desk you've got an example of an answer that somebody's given to a Rivers question. Could you have a look at that for me, please? What I'd like you to do is look at it and tell me whether you would have given it an A star. You've got the levelled mark scheme there. You're used to using these. You've got highlighted pens on your desk if you want them. Is that an A star answer? Okay, be ready to tell me in 5 minutes' time whether it is.
Talk about heavy rainfall.
So heavy rainfall.
Where? Heavy rainfall meant that the ground was completely saturated in the watercourse.
I reckon it's level 3 then.
So tell me what you thought of this answer.
I think it's very good. The only thing I'd say is it's lacking some keywords.
Such as?
Where it says water running across the surface, they could have just said surface runoff and used the keywords.
Yeah, good, okay. And we know that keywords are important, don't we, for a level 3 answer? Okay, excellent. Thanks, boys. The reason that I modelled the answer initially on Rivers was because I wanted students to see what an A-star answer looked like. And that's one of the things we have to do in Assessment for Learning, is actually show the students what we want them to produce as their end product. Because only by showing them what we want can the students actually identify what it is that they need to do in order to actually produce that piece of work. Who can give me a couple of reasons why this is an A-star answer? What's so good about it?
Well, it's got the named river example, which is the River Rhine. It's got comprehensive and accurate place-specific statements. For example, like it tells us about Switzerland, and it has 3 developed statements describing different causes of flooding. For example, that it received 3.5 times its annual monthly rainfall.
Okay, and we've got several of those statements within that text, haven't we, which is excellent. Okay, so this is the sort of detail that we're looking for our A-star answers, and by the end of this lesson I want you guys to have tried to have written an A-star answer as well, not for this question but for a settlement question about the village of Lair. And had a look at your work. You're getting on really well. Many of you are using that mark scheme very effectively indeed. What I'm going to ask you guys to do now is actually to give each other some feedback by actually doing some peer assessment. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to swap your work on your tables, use that mark scheme and decide what level you think the student is at the moment. And then I'd like you to write them some targets about what they need to do to make sure that they are improving that answer.
Expand more on the clauses that refer to the consequences, list more clauses, and give more locational details.
Okay. You did everything good. You gave lots of locational detail. You named the motorways, and all your ideas were developed. And your only thing is to give a push factor, because you gave the pull factor, and you gave a consequence as well.
Yeah, because that's one of the things that I felt you did well. You put a lot of causes, even though you didn't do the consequences. You've done a lot of causes. But I think you need to develop them a bit more, saying why it's happening and where it's happening. That's it. I gave you 4 marks for it.
For the causes.
Yeah, for the causes, but you need to do the consequences as well.
I'll give you 6 marks.
Okay.
In the long run, Assessment for Learning can save you an awful lot of time, particularly with marking, which is one of the most onerous tasks a teacher has. The slight problem with there is that I am concerned that there is this expectation that teachers do mark books, and I am conscious all the time of having this little person on my shoulder saying, where are your comments? And that's one of the reasons why I use the verbal feedback stamp, because I think it is important that parents are aware, inspectors, should they come in, are aware that, yes, we are monitoring this. So what you want to do then, obviously, to move yourself up is do what?
And develop the answers
Good.
further and explain.
Excellent. And you're beginning to get in some of your key detail here, and which level does that come from on the mark scheme?
Level 2.
Does it? You've got your specific statements, haven't you? M1, M6,
Yeah.
M69?
Oh, that's more level 3 then.
That's more level 3, isn't it? Okay.
But you can only get level 3 if you then talk about both in development.
That's right, exactly. Okay, so you know what you need to do now to make it better, yeah? Good.